We have formed a Lawyers Leadership Council for Equality, which is just a fancy word for lawyers who are giving money to help fight the campaign. If you can click on this link here and be put right into the, you're donating directly to the campaign, there's no like middle road here, but what it enables us is to identify donors from our legal community who have helped support the campaign, and it helps show the leadership efforts of the lawyers community. It also helps show the leadership efforts within the Bar Association, which is, of course, then visible within the Bar Association, which has been quite effective in mobilizing people to give. Almost every single one of the past presidents of the San Francisco Bar Association have made major leadership gifts to this Lawyers Leadership Council. And it's incredible to see the list, and it is growing every single day. Those of us who are getting these, millions of emails every day know how committed people are and how excited they are to publicly join this group. And I hope that all of you who are lawyers will join this group as a donor. As I say, it's just a donation straight to the campaign, but then you get to identify yourself as a lawyer and part of this council. And there's value to that. There are lots of other things here. I'm sure Kate and Donna might talk about some of them. I don't mean to take away from some of the things that they're going to talk about. The last thing I would talk about in terms of our Bar Association efforts is that we are going to have, I think, 2 nights of dedicated phone banking at the campaign, where we are going to supply volunteers to do phone banking. We're going to reach out to members of our task force, members of our Bar Association, and members of our Unity Coalition, that incredible list of organizations that I pointed out at the beginning. And all of you, if you would like to participate in one of those evenings, we haven't chosen the dates yet. All this is just happening as of this morning, but it will be put together very soon. I'm going to be organizing it, and we can bring up to 100 volunteers per night. So, of course, I want to bring 150. So if you want to help participate, I think that, Dan, are we collecting email addresses of attendees here?
I don't know, but I'll make sure we do.
Okay, so we'll have a list out the door. Please leave me your email address, even if you don't want to phone bank. You're not signing up for phone banking by leaving me your email address, but it's a way to reach you. And if you are a member of one of these Unity Coalition organizations, if you can help, when we send out the email seeking volunteers, if you can help get your members to come volunteer, because it'll be a fun evening with all of us there together. It also helps spread the message in a really visceral way, not only as those of us who are actually making the calls and talking to people, but for those of, for your members who you bring to help do it, it helps them understand the message and learn the real impact of this campaign on a very personal level. So we think it'll be a really useful activity for us, and the campaign really needs us.
Okay, yes.
I have a question about this big push I've seen over the past month or 2 or 3 about vowing to vote no. What's the utility of that? Is it to collect emails, and is that?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. It's to collect emails, potential donors, volunteers for phone banking and other activities of the campaign, endorsements. It's like Obama wanting your text number so he can tell you who the vice presidential pick is. It's so that, that's not because he really wants you to know who the vice presidential pick is. It's so he has your cell phone number and can mobilize you when he needs to. So it's that same thing, yeah.
But I think it does reinforce that this is how you're supposed to vote. Pledge to say no. Pledge to vote no. Okay, oh yeah, I'm going to vote no on that. So it's
reinforcing the no message, yeah.
Okay, so we want to spend this last part of the training to talk about, where we hit the road and brainstorm a little bit about some concrete ideas to take away from here. We have some thoughts, but again, we invite your questions and your ideas. So, money. Okay, we've talked about fundraising at different levels, and I want to say, if you do know the big money, wonderful. If you're a lawyer and can participate through what Mary just talked about, then yes, your name helps send a message, raises money for the campaign, and encourages others to do the same. But I think there's other ways in which everybody can help, whether you're talking about lawyers or not, whether you're talking about big money or not. Personally, I've been swimming in a little bit of a shallow pool, but it's really inspiring. You know, to give you a couple examples of what people have done very organically, a couple in Berkeley decided to, instead of making a donation, decided to leverage that and buy a whole bunch of ribs. And then they got the city to close off their street, and they threw a big rib party for their neighbors. There were 150 people there. I think the vast majority were straight. And they came out and heard about, you know, Proposition 8. They were outraged that Proposition 8 might take away this couple's marriage. They had just gotten married. And they gave like crazy for that kind of event. You know, $100 there, $100 here, it really adds up. One other word about fundraising. Because this is campaign fundraising, there's some little paperwork you need to go through, and you want to make sure that you think that through. If you or anybody in your organizations want to do that, make sure that you're collecting the correct information, because you want that money to actually go to the campaign and be put to good use. For example, I learned that if you don't fill out a particular form that gives the employer and the type of employment you're in, that money might end up in the state general fund, really against the interests of what that person is trying to do. So you need to cross your T's a little more carefully than what you might do for another kind of fundraiser. This is campaign fundraising.
And can I just add 2 points on that point? Because we're getting used to this as a nonprofit that's a C3 nonprofit where people give their donations, it's tax deductible, we send them a thank you letter. Well, we're in a whole new universe now. We created a C4 PAC, NCLR did, so we could give the level that we're giving to the campaign. Donations over $1,000 have to be reported within 24 hours. You don't have to get checked to the state, but it has to be reported to the state within 24 hours, any $1,000 contribution that we get. And of course, this is not tax deductible money. It's political money, it's a C4 gift, so just make sure that folks understand that, and there are these requirements and forms to fill out. I don't know if that's a part of your packets, but all that stuff is downloadable on the noonprop8.com website. In addition to a house party kit, hundreds of house parties have been going on around the state. And you may not be able to raise more than $3,000 or $4,000, but I'll tell you what, if everyone here did that, that's 3 days of advertising in Sacramento. That's going to be huge. So just understand that when you hear these really big numbers, it can be very daunting. It's like, okay, well, if I can't give $1 million, there's no way I'm even useful. That's not true. It is going to be, the reason they're at $15 million is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of $1,000 contributions. That is why they are $15 million. The big gifts, they have as many big gifts as we do, but they have a much greater number of smaller gifts. And the house party kit stuff on our website, there's a house party kit, NCLR, NCLrights.org, or noonprop8.com, their website.
It's
Okay,
in the
your
10 ways lawyers can
Of
help.
course it is. Of course
It's
it is.
item number 4 under at the bottom of make a financial contribution.
So another important discussion, because there's so many organizations out there for marriage or equality, it can get kind of confusing. So here's how you can tell people to easily give money so it's going to the campaign. First of all, people can just go to noonprop8.com. That's the campaign website. They hit the donate and it's there. Some of the organizations like Equality California and NCLR decided to set up these special PACs. So NCLR Social Justice Fund, because we thought, well, we're well known and people may feel more comfortable giving to us to pass through rather than giving to, at that time, kind of unknown campaign. So those are there. If it goes through that, it's not tax deductible, but it goes straight to the campaign, and we've created it for that purpose. You need to be careful. If there are some organizations out there who might say, come support us to support our efforts in stopping the marriage ban. And those dollars may not be going directly to the campaign. They may be going to that organization to help fight the campaign. So you need to be discriminating around, which organization you're giving to or what you're telling people to do. Okay, so